Swaxy, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Oh, Siege Tactics is researched. Okay, apparently our science went up and we got that done even faster. So now we definitely need to switch because we are literally out of technologies. Except for heavy infantry, which I don't want. Okay. So, for the early modern era, what should we be? We could stay as the Norsemen, maintaining our langships, which allow us to ignore penalties from deep water and continue shipping troops across to the New World, though we don't really need to do that anymore. We can be the Dutch. Now, ordinarily, I've been saying we've played this nation before, we're not going to play it again, but the Dutch are very much in keeping with the game that we've been playing so far. They are the traders. +2 money per trader in all cities, +5 money per naval trade route, +5 money per adjacent harbour, and there are a lot of harbours. That's with the VOC warehouse. Is that per naval trade? That's literally every one of these buildings would add that. That's a lot of money. Interesting. Hordensoni, that's the food production, which we really don't need because we have the Nosts for that. Hosion, we have got science on lakes, science on coastal waters, science on adjacent exploitations. Hosion could be good as well, because that would be the extra science income, because we do have a lot of coastal. So if we wanted to suddenly explode in scientific output, we could take that. Ming, civics points, which we already have a massive surplus of. Mughals, industry per number of culturally controlled territories on capital. So I think that just makes the capital really productive. And also industry. And there basically are no religious districts, so that is not very useful. Modify attach outpost cost by -15%. For such a late game ability, this is rubbish. We could be the Poles for the extra cavalry, but we haven't really been very militaristic. Spain. Combat strength on units starting their turn in non-allied territories. And they also get the Catedral Gotica. Japan was the influence, the Venetians, +1 influence per number of trade routes and territory. And then they've got the Bottec di Artisti, which is influence per adjacent market quarters. Now the weird thing is, we don't actually have very many market quarters. We have a few. But I'm thinking right now, and we should probably actually start writing these down, because this is going to be a poll. To play. Are we going to be the magnificent Dutch? Are we going to be... Oh, we could stay as the Norse. That would continue to aid us with the settlement. Although it's going to be about probably 10 turns before we can start sending explorers overseas again, because we'll need to get the 3-mast. But at that point, we can do it for the rest of the game. Hordensoni was not useful. Hosion would be crazy science, but we're so close to the end of the game. And we already have a pretty good science output. Ming, Mughals, Ottomans, Poles. Spanish, possibly. Yeah, we're not really attacking anyone, though. And then Venetians were the last choice. So, I think that those 4 are going to be the choices. And here we go. Get your votes in. Vote, vote, vote. Who should we play as? The Dutch, the Norse, continuing the Norse, the Hosion, or the Venetians? Hey, Ben. If you do Hosion, can we see Hero 5 text? I don't think so. I think that was an ability from earlier. I'm pretty sure. I mean, the way we could see it is if they were actually available in this list, and I don't think they are. No. Hero 4 is the last. I mean, we would probably... In fact, no, we wouldn't even get through this. We've got 25 turns remaining. So, even with the Hosion, we would probably get to maybe here. I don't think we'd be able to finish the whole set. Okay, so the vote is in, and the Norse came in last with just 3% of the vote. Zach Prukowski contributed 100 bits, and then Duke Silverose came in with 1,000 channel points. Thank you very much, both of you, for those investments. The Hosion actually did a lot worse than I expected with 16%. The Venetians came in second with 24, but overwhelmingly in first place we have the Dutch with 58. So, looks like we're going to be going Dutch. We'll be splitting the bill with everyone else and going Dutch. Hey, what's the float do? The float is a naval transport. Never mind, this just replaces the Langship. Increased movement speed when starting its turn in Allied territory. So we would have been able to continue exploring anyway, regardless. This is the transport. And I'm guessing that this has no deep sea issues at all, and just sail everywhere. I am Dutch, yes. So I am perfectly happy with this choice. Confirm. Maharo gained population, as did a bunch of other places, most likely. Alright, hunting party. You are going to go down this river. And just continue exploring everything that you can. And eventually ending up over there, I would say. And then we will have checked out the deepest, darkest center of this island. Meanwhile, orange and yellow are starting to get closer and closer to us. But they're not here yet. And then we have got the hunting party, who were going to establish a settlement right there. And you were going to establish a settlement right there. So I wonder, are these going to have... No, these are both going to look Dutch when they are established. Because when they actually build the central structure, that's going to be when it's Dutch. That is a lot of bad guys. Let's have you marching over here with the intention of fighting them. And then these cavalry can go and sit on top of that. We'll resolve it. This is a really small battle, so we'll just go ahead and do that. 11% losses. My pikemen took some hits. That's disappointing. A grievance has been forgiven. By Keimer. Huh. If you say so. Now, we still have 1,500 ducats, which we can spend on various goodies. Acathesiacs not making hamlets. Oh, it's because the entire settlement's already completely full with the Maker's Quarters. Let's cancel all of those, and we're just going to go with hamlets instead. Because they are almost as good as the Maker's Quarters, but allow us to get more population. And then we'll just go ahead and buy a couple of those, and that's going to give us some more space to expand in. Mogadishu is going to get burned next turn. But we do need to choose something, so let's go with the Victory Parade once more. And then we need to do a science. Can't I just end turn without doing a science? I don't want to do a science. It looks like I have to do a science. Damn. Because we're going to get that next turn.
Geography, cartography, algebra, optics, astronomy. It's a time of discovery and exploration. But discoveries are not made solely by traders and adventurers. Those who explore with ships and caravans would go in circles without those who explore with pens and parchment.
And all of our wonderful Norse cities start looking suspiciously Dutch. So I claim the game. Does it take a long time to process the request? I don't know. People in chat might be able to answer that one more easily. What does Lucy OpenDev in the title mean? So Lucy OpenDev, OpenDev is what they call early access, and Lucy is this early access. session. This phase of their OpenDev. Who did Kaima start as? Egypt. Could have picked one of the ancient texts instead of going heavy infantry. No, heavy infantry is literally the last technology that I have left to research. Or it was. It's not anymore. Alright, so let's go and take a look at what is left. So we have finished all of the other technologies in the game. Up until the early moderns. And we've actually knocked 5 turns off of each of these, somehow. Just because we're getting bigger, I think. So we can get the 3-masted ship, which allows us to get the colony plan. Which I'm guessing is just a city with even more stuff already built. This also gives us access to the float. Oh, so we do need to research this. We don't just start with it. Yeah, okay. And it gives us another administrator too, which is quite nice. Done. Mogadishu is on... Yeah, we don't care about that, actually. You can go there. You can start burning it. 1,000 ducats! Heck yeah!
March!
Right, wasn't there a redoubt around here somewhere? Or did we already destroy that? I guess we already destroyed it. Alright. So these 2 locations are already being built. Now, do we want to start colonizing anything else while we're here?
We have our orders.
Probably.
Don't fall behind.
And that's it. That's the last of them. So I think that we do want to set up a settlement here for the silk and the horses. And also Yellowstone. I think might do that like here. Now, your job here is done. So I still want to try and grab Silver City down here. If I can. So we're going to send 2 units of horsemen down to Silver City. To establish a settlement down there. Okay, so our next fame level is we are mercantile. So we need to make as much money as we possibly can. Challenge accepted. Need to get 3 technologies, need to get a bunch of population, bunch of buildings, which we can spend the money to do, a bunch of expansions, which we might be able to do, and then a bunch of fighting, which we probably wouldn't. Right, so what I would like to do in that instance is go to South Saxon and just go, policy is going to be economic. And we're going to go economic everywhere. Which isn't already. It should be most places. Making 1,000 a turn. This is still small fry compared to my first game where I was making 7,000 a turn. Oh, you know what I need to do. I know exactly what I need to do. You're building the last Nost, but then we need to get the VOC warehouses. Yeah. That's what we need to do. Now the money is going to start to roll in once we start getting these. So in fact, let's go through each of our cities and just make sure we have those set up. This does provide trader slots, but not very many. It does require us building over stuff, but so it goes. For the most part, I've been pretty good about keeping the areas around the ports just clear. And we can always build more. This is where we really want to double down on the number of shipyards we have. Mogadishu is being destroyed, so that's irrelevant. Oh! Oh. We're mercantile. That means we can set up trade routes again. Excellent! Oh, this place especially is really good for the VOC. Crikey. Good old Dutch East India Company. I got 99 problems, but ducats ain't one. Absolutely not. Threat of starvation, Mogadishu. It's being looted actively. It's gone as of next turn. Oh, saltpeter. We found some gunpowder. Unfortunately, I don't own it. Yet. Wealth of the faithless. The Empire stands for tolerance and religious freedom. Faiths of many denominations are welcome here. However, now that your own religion is stronger than ever with 2 holy sites found across the land, you have the power to decide if minorities of other faiths should be subject to taxes for peaceful coexistence. Should we tax people? Yes. Yes, we should. +1 money on territories under religious influence of territories follow a foreign religion. Done. Tax the heretics. Oh, we're back in control of our religion again, apparently. Yay? I guess. Don't ask me how. Alright, so. People are still moving around. That's fine. We have 1,000 ducats, which I would like to start spending some of. Wow, these VOCs are really cheap. Cool. What were you doing? You were just exploring. Oh, you're established. Cool. So... you were, I think, joining South Saxon? Ah, saltpeter. We have a settlement coming here. Loads of it, actually. Loads and loads of guns. Oh, did I miss one, Syndrome? No, I'm sorry. Which countries did the Netherlands need to beat to get to the finals? Most notably Spain, but that was 400 years ago. Man, I'm just full of hamster dad jokes. Really hope the late game turns into a scramble for the New World land in the full build. I hope so as well. I really do. Lucy OpenDev, the only drop available, or only the avatar drops available on this stream, because when clicking a participating live channel for them brings up only your stream. So only... the only way to get the avatars, like Quill, Burke Black, Lamardia, Zerator, Lewis from the Oxcast, and Spiff and Brit, is by watching their individual streams, so it does have to be from those streamers. Or you can watch the Amplitude stream, which unlocks all 6 of them. So if you watch Amplitude, which is every Thursday, you'll be able to get all 6. My stream, though, is just for the drop, for the OpenDev drop. So if you want to play the game and try this out for yourself, then watching this would be good for that. Anyone know how to access Humankind? Because I got the drop, I can't find it in my library or anything. Did you make sure to sync your accounts? Apparently there is a little sync button on the Games Together, which a lot of people overlook. Do that and it should appear in your Steam library. My guess is that's probably the issue. Okay, so what was I attaching this place to? I have a feeling this is a settlement I established last time. It was probably to South Saxon. I don't know why I colonized this place. There's nothing in it. Yeah, I think we'll attach it to South Saxon. Oh, there's 2 outposts to absorb. There's 2. Need more money. So next turn. I need to not build as many VOCs and do more A, trade, and B, attachments. And this army was going over here, I think. Right there. That looks like a good spot for another city. Ransack successful. We gained another grand, that's good. Empire 3 now feels differently about us.
This stopped being intelligent a while ago. We should move on.
You owe me money. That's all that matters right now. Okay, so, what was I saying? Let's do the attachments first of all. So we're going to say you need to attach to South Saxon. And then I was going to say you need to attach to Natrafen, which is now Gargantuan, and you need to attach to Natrafen as well. Natrafen is now going to have really bad stability issues, so the first thing you need to do is establish one of these, which we can put right there. Actually, there's probably a better place for it. Yeah, stability per adjacent district. You can put it there and you're already adjacent to 2. And there you're already adjacent to 2. However, in all of those places, you're then adjacent to the coast. So I think what I'm going to do is this. Then we're going to go Hamlet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're then going to establish the artisans' quarters to pick up as many resources as we can. And then iron mine for the iron mine. That's all of them. Okay. Cool. You've got quite a lot of production to do. Those VOCs will need to wait. This place is going to require a lot of investments. Thankfully, all of these buildings should be pretty cheap. And you should be on economic exports. You have a surplus food of 163. I don't think these guys are needed there. Put them in money making. Just making sure I have all of my mercantile places in use. I do. Right. Next. I was going to do some wheeling and dealing. Do you have anything for me to buy? No. Do you have anything for me to buy? Yes. But you don't like me enough to sell them. Do You have enough... Yes, but I don't like you at the moment. Because you are not paying me all the money you should be. And Burke, you and I have had a couple of tensions in the past, but you also have a lot of resources which I would quite like to purchase. So I'm going to make sure that that gets done. That's expensive. Alright, need to save up for a few turns to get those. A new teaching for capitalism. Cool, so we can do sustain the faithful or be charitable. Charitable it is. Choose that tenet. And now, because we immediately grab that tenet, we're going to build another holy site to make sure we keep control of this. So in Maharo, I would like to build a holy site, except I don't seem to be able to, because there are no holy sites available. So, I don't like this system. Fine. I guess we won't build a holy site then. Cavalry. I mean, we already killed all the bad guys over here, so I guess we'll just go home. Everything's dead already. You were going to build another outpost, but we don't have the money for it. You were also going to build an outpost, but we don't have the money for it. Empire 1 has reached its Middle Ages as the Aztecs. No, that's third place. He's staying as the Aztecs to try and get some more fame. And we're about halfway to the finances needed for that. Still like 35 turns. Considering how difficult this getting money is compared to everything else. Like, yeah, you can make some spectacular amounts of cash, but that's still really high. And Empire 6 has gone Poland. Oh, no, sorry. Someone has actually gone Aztecs. Just hit Aztecs. And then Burke. No. Isabella. Quill's minion has gone Polish. That's what happened. How is pop management compared to Endless Legends? So, unfortunately, it's a long time since I played Endless Legends. I can't quite remember how it worked there. I think it's quite similar. You basically just have the 4 categories, and then you assign people to each category depending on what you want them to do. South Saxon was the one who made Prophecy of Pendor. No, that was Saxon Dragon. South Saxon is just a subscriber name. Although that is awfully suspicious, isn't it? The heresy of science. Are we mere animals? Word spreads that natural philosophers are conceiving theories regarding the providence of life itself. To imagine that men and beasts might have shared common ancestors would be an affront to many, and cause for a revolution in the way that people view themselves. The theories could undermine the realm's official faith, and by extension your authority. What is your position on the matter? So we can forbid or we can embrace. We've been pretty progressive so far, so we're going to embrace that. And I'm going to spend my time going over to you and say, hey, you got some more stuff I want. I will purchase it from you.